nobody does it quite like me. Me. Yo, yo, yo. What up, what up? How's it going, everyone? Hey, Tomboy. What's up, Red Panda? Can't believe this album comes with a free car game. I have become one with Forza. What's up, Noxel? What's going on? How Delansky? Or hi. Whatever. Words. Who cares about words? It's Thursday, February 12th. I've barely used my voice today to talk to humans, so I think my brain's, needs a little moment of adjustment. But I hope you guys have been having a decent week so far. Out of Touch Thursday? That sounds about right. Chef Wire, my dad is actually a pretty good cook. I never really remembered that about him. And then in my recent visits to his place that he shares with his wife in Austria, even she was surprised. She was like, damn, did you made this? It's like a pretty impressive meal. I forget what it was called, but it was like this some kind of beef with like it's like kind of like wrapped in with rope with some veggies and other things. I don't know. Maybe it was a German thing. But his first name is Stefan, so we started calling him Chefon because of that. It was a very tasty meal. First week in summer semester. Word. Summer semester. Huh. Not to pry too much in your business any V-Day plans. No worries. We're just gonna go out for some drinks. Nothing special. Maybe I'll introduce my fiance to some of the old Haywyre Valentine's memes. I think she'd get a kick out of that. Yeah, man, what's going on, Red Panda? You got a question for me? What's up? What is up? Can I send you my album early? Yeah, absolutely. I would love to hear it. Feel free to send it to my email if you want. I think that's the best place to send me that kind of stuff. Martin@haywiremusic.com. That's a good place to send me those kind of emails. My manager probably won't respond to that kind of stuff. Just because he usually just responds to like formal requests or opportunities and that kind of stuff. If something's like personally addressed to me, he probably won't touch it. So it's better to just send it to my personal email. As an artist, what's more rewarding in economic terms, live performances or money you earn from albums? They're hard to compare because it's kind of apples and oranges. I think one of the things as a musician that you learn, from like a financial standpoint, when you've been in the industry long enough, one thing you learn is every little bit helps. So small amounts can accumulate to a big difference over long periods of time. So like, let's say some artists, for example, they excel at live touring, but they're less popular in terms of like streaming numbers, that kind of stuff. And so streaming doesn't amount to much percentage for them. And so touring for somebody like that is obviously a bigger deal. But it's interesting because there can be like a feedback loop where it's similar to if you have like a good sync for a song, somebody hears your music in an ad that is playing during, a Super Bowl ad or something like that. And people are like, oh, that music was cool. And they start researching it, and it ends up on being used on social media because of it. And then it turns into a feedback loop like that. That kind of stuff can happen in all sorts of ways. Like maybe your music is resonating with people live, and then that draws more people to the streaming side. So it's weird. And those don't seem directly connected financially, but they are. Like everything is kind of this weird amalgamation of different benefits and drawbacks. Like with live shows, for example, I've had a lot of issues with live shows in the past because I don't DJ, so my overhead tends to be a lot higher. I have more costs, and that's not something I ever really considered a bad thing because that's just how I do it. But it's made the economics of performing very different for me in the electronic music industry, where a lot of promoters are used to booking DJs and stuff. Of course, there's some people that are more than happy to book me and support me, knowing that there is that overhead. And a lot of the times I'm the one that has to bear that cost, but sometimes they're willing to increase, the fee or something to accommodate for me. And anyways, I'm kind of going on a little bit of a tangent here, but needless to say, it depends on the person primarily. I think for me, royalties, like the income I have from streaming is kind of like what I feel is like my foundation. It's what I pay my normal bills with, my everyday bills. And then when live shows come about, honestly, most of the time I'm pretty happy with just breaking even. I'll give you an example. I'm not going to go into details, but with like these wave shows that I did last year, I what happens normally is you get a flat fee. This is very normal for the music industry. You'll get a flat fee that's negotiated between your agency and the promoter, or to somebody that's representing like talent or doing like talent buying and stuff. And then that's all you get basically. It's just like you have this amount, and then everything from there is up to you. So for example, what hotel to stay in, what airline to fly with, all those kind of things, and you take on that cost, and the fee is negotiated knowing those things. But ultimately, it makes sense. Like a talent buyer shouldn't be paying, let's say, for your, I don't know, like first class ticket to come play a show. Like they don't benefit or care about, where you sit on the airplane. And most of the time, neither do the artist, I don't think, unless you have so much spare money that you're just rocking first class every time. But all those decisions are up to you. And it's funny because I just got smacked with a random tax bill from California. I wasn't really handling this kind of stuff for a long time in my career. I had a financial manager helping me with this for some time, but I got hit with like an $800 fee for having conducted business in California. And random things like this will come up in different states. And for smaller artists like me, I mean, hey, if you're making like $100,000 a night, then who cares about getting slapped with $800? For a smaller artist like me, that's a little bit different. And I take those kind of things into account when I'm thinking about accepting a show offer or not. So it's kind of hard to compare them, long story short. Seronius, how's your wrist doing? It is doing okay. It's doing quite okay. I noticed that it actually tends to do better when I haven't been sitting at my computer for a long time. So right now it's feeling quite good. Yeah. Spotify does not pay well at all, but also it's better having something like Spotify in place was going to be better than piracy running rampant, to play the devil's advocate. I'm not saying they pay well. And maybe for that reason, they have so much leverage because of that. And for other reasons, I mean, they've just become this obnoxiously massive company. It's crazy when companies get so big that they can no longer do wrong. And there's it's very little that can actually affect a company once it's reached a certain size. I tried Bandcamp. Yeah, Bandcamp is great. I will say I don't know. There's the music that I really care deeply about. I love buying a Bandcamp, and then I don't mind having a streaming service, but I don't really think there's a single service out there that ticks all the boxes. I mean, Spotify has a truly enormous amount of music for a decent price. They've got a pretty questionable CEO. Is Daniel Ek still the CEO? I gotta look this up. Spotify CEO. Okay, it's still Daniel Ek. I don't know. For some reason, I thought that was changing, but I might be wrong. But yeah, not too crazy about him. And his investments in the military companies and that kind of stuff. But what are the alternatives? I mean, there's like Tidal, there's Apple Music. I'm not crazy about any of them, honestly. So none of them feel particularly great to support and to listen to. It would be cool. I wonder, like, do you guys know of any platforms out there, like streaming platforms, that have something like Bandcamp integrated where, like, you can also buy the downloads? Because that's something that also really bothers me, is that, like, high quality lossless downloads can be hard to find sometimes, because sometimes, if I want to buy like a wave copy of a track, it sometimes isn't on Bandcamp, and there's really no good marketplace for that anymore. Like, Amazon is terrible. I hate buying music on Amazon. I haven't done that in years. But can you stream music on Beatport? Not really, not that I know of. Maybe there is something newer that I haven't heard of where you can do that. But Beatport is a good place, obviously, for specifically anything electronic music related. But when it comes to like pop music, for example, the only platform I've found some lossless downloads on is HD Tracks. And they've got a pretty decent system, but man, their catalog is totally full of holes. Like, they're missing a ton of music that they should have, and they don't. Not many people do it anymore. Yeah. I mean, it kind of goes to show, I guess, where the industry is at and how music consumption has changed. It's not something that's inherently bad, right? I mean, these things evolve one way or another, and a lot of these things just are, inevitable because of the way technology develops and industries evolve to adapt to that, and they have to come up with their answers. I mean, the Napster thing is a good example, right? Where it was just gonna be pirating unless pirating was gonna keep plummeting a lot of the income that artists needed. I mean, that was a crazy time, because I was pirating stuff too when I was younger. I think we all did. But yeah, anyways, when Spotify went public, those shares were worth hundreds of millions, and artists didn't see any fair share of that money. Yeah. So while investors want profitability, the bigger issue is the power labels had in early negotiations. Many artists, especially those in older contracts, are receiving only a small cut after the label takes its share. Yeah. It's tough because Spotify has so much leverage that there's no real ability to penalize or negotiate or anything with them as, let's say, like an independent artist. And it's weird. A similar thing goes for some of these distribution companies too, like DistroKid. I'm sure some of you guys have seen some of the flack they've taken over the years for how they've handled like random people being able to distribute music onto an artist's page, or to dispute an artist. Anyone can dispute anything on Spotify, technically, which is pretty unsettling. And I've actually I experienced that years ago when I got into like my first real kind of legal scuffle about some nonsense that ended up being settled, but it was kind of annoying to deal with. I hate Adobe. Spotify only became profitable more recently, and podcasts played a big role in that. I could see that. Unlike music, where revenue goes to labels, Spotify keeps a much bigger share of the ad money. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. I didn't realize that, and it kind of makes sense. Adobe should rightfully be replaced by someone that knows artists and editors. So why are we hating on Adobe? How did they get swept up in this conversation? Adobe has the worst practices and everything. Yeah, I don't really pay too much attention to them. I have done the cloud subscription a few times. I don't like it. It is morally correct to pirate Adobe products. um, they trying to retire their Animate program. In general, they're not great with how they treat their clients. It's messed up, huh? Okay, this is gonna sound a little left field, but I've gotten that Justin Bieber song stuck in my head. What is it? Yukon? Is that what it's called? I'm pretty sure it's called Yukon. No Adobe sub, no Haywyre rewind. Well, I mean, to be fair, I know that there's like CapCut is free up to a certain point, so that's not a bad alternative. But yeah, I was gonna say, is it called Yukon? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. That Yukon performance he did at the Grammys was really impressive, and it's been stuck in my head ever since. I feel like it's a good example of. I feel like I really am. I'm enjoying a lot of like really stripped down music. I do like obviously sound design and like heavily produced things, but I just really appreciate the rawness of that performance. But I think it was at the Grammys. Windows Movie Maker. Oh shit. Yeah. Lots of good performances from singers lately, I feel like, in like the public light. The Charlie Puth anthem was great. It's awesome. Anyways, all right. I've been chit-chatting now for a hot minute. Fire alpaca. There seems to always be like, it's always good to keep an open eye on free and like open source software. People are always doing some amazing stuff in terms of just making great tools available for free. Like what is it called? Just like Stemroller. You know, I remember that was one of that was something that Mr. Bill showed me years ago, like the stem splitting software. That's really great for reverse engineering insights and mixing insights. But anyways, maybe that's not the best example, but yeah, I've heard you talk about that software before, Art Nerd, the free Krita software, I think. Sounded like Careless Whisper for a sec. Yeah, I could see that. I could somehow see you doing Reading Rainbow. What the hell? How does that go again? I don't know. That one's a little. I feel like there's not much to work with that one. Butterflies in the sky. Oh man, I remember. I remember when I was younger, early teens, I think, back when the internet, back in my day, when viral videos would only come about like, once every few months. But there was this amazing video. Somebody overdubbed Reading Rainbow music with DMX's like random chants. God damn, that video was so funny. What? It was DMX. That sounded more like a Little John impression there, but it was pretty funny. Subscriber. Yo. Maddie is cute. Thank you for the sub. Much appreciated. Markamada. Gotta give props to Mr. Rogers, though. Yeah, for real. I saw a pretty incredible clip. It resurfaces every few years on social media, I feel like. But it was from a scene promoting kind of the discussion. It was like I think it was an indirect discussion, maybe more of a statement about promoting more of a unity and changing the narrative around, I think, how Black people can be viewed, especially during that time. It was basically a scene of him, just hanging out with, I think it was a Black postman, and they had their feet in a little pond. They were just chit-chatting, and I think the whole premise was to just normalize this interaction, and that, we're all just humans. And I thought that was a really cool way to try to communicate that with kids, not to try to like have these really difficult concepts about the philosophies behind these things or historical significance or any of that. Just two people just hanging out, having a chat. Happy Black History Month, indeed. But anyways, what are we gonna do today? What are we gonna do? Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. I've been getting sucked more and more into these rabbit holes. With I mean, I think that I've been developing an increased feeling of obligation to stay up to date with political news in our country as of late. And I think maybe out of naivety or something, I haven't gone through that much effort for this in the past. Treasure Train? What the hell? I don't know what that's about. But man, I've been reading a lot of articles and watching a lot of videos, and I feel like it's taking up so much room in my head right now. And I'm sure that's the case for a lot of people. And honestly, I think it's a good thing in a lot of ways. We have a duty to hold our government accountable in the ways that we can. Obviously what a single person can do can be limited, and that can feel discouraging. But I mean, staying informed is one of the best things I think you can do, and it's also kind of a low threshold, right? I mean, I subscribed to something called Ground News recently, and that's a pretty great way to understand how, like, what breaking news is being covered and in what ways and by what news outlets, and who owns those news outlets, how high their degree of factuality is. Yo, Everyday Swiss, what's going on? Good to see you here. Thanks for gifting that sub to Alex. Alex wasn't available. But yeah, I've been seeing this guy that I follow, Andrew Callahan, who runs Channel 5 News now. He's a really talented journalist, in my opinion, and I think objectively just a good journalist. But either way, I've seen him talk about it for a long time, and I eventually pulled the trigger. It was right around when the all the Minneapolis stuff started going down. So that was when I was like, I pulled the trigger, and it's $5 a month. It's pretty reasonable, and it's really nice to be able to see. Normally with any news outlet, one of the issues is like you don't know how biased they are. You don't necessarily always know. You're not always aware. It's hard to keep track of, who owns them and who has a vested interest in presenting stories a certain way, right? Like Fox News is owned by, the Murdoch family, obviously. So like, as an example, and so, a lot of them have these vested interests in, Bezos owning, Washington Post. Like a lot of these places have a vested interest in presenting certain stories and presenting them in a certain way. So I like being able to see these headlines and understand, how different media outlets are covering it. Sometimes they're split kind of 50-50, like left, right leaning, some centrist, and sometimes certain stories are being covered mostly by right wing and not at all by left wing, or the other way. And Andrew is really gifted, yeah. Like for example, you guys know Gus Fring, from Breaking Bad, probably the actor. Damn it, Esposito. What's his name? Something with a G. One sec. Esposito. Giancarlo. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Giancarlo Esposito, famous actor. I actually really like. I like hearing him speak. He's got an interesting perspective on the hustle. As an actor, he speaks about, before he's had really kind of a breakout momentum as an actor. He talked about what it was like to go through the grind of, doing random ass jobs, like I think he talked about being like a janitor and like a bus driver. And then he would feel the itch come on. It would be so strong. It would be like, man, I'll just do whatever it takes to get a role somewhere. I just got to do it. And it was kind of like that cycle. And anyways, he seems like a really humble and interesting guy. But just as an example, there was I'll get into music production after this. I'm just going to get this off my chest though. But there is this clip of him, I think out of frustration, and many people were frustrated seeing like the kind of stuff that was going down in Minneapolis, and to put it lightly, I want to I don't know Twitch's terms well enough to know exactly how to approach talking about this kind of stuff, so I'm going to tread lightly here, but he was really upset, and Giancarlo was, and he said something that was eaten up by a lot of right-wing media, and it was fascinating to see that the headlines, the framing was kind of like, oh, these kind of like crazed Hollywood actors are like these left-wing lunatics that want to have an insurrection or something like that, and it was basically all covered by right-wing media. But anyways, that being said, I like being able to see whenever a headline is popping up, whether it's leaning one way or another, a certain story is breaking, and like seeing where, like, obviously the other side of the coin can be true too. Sometimes the stories break and then it's like almost all left-wing media that's covering something too, right? So I don't know. I think in a time like we live in today where we don't even know sometimes the filters through which we're being fed information. And like with social media, I think it's even more dangerous, right? We think about like how much control, obviously Musk owns Twitter, for example. And I mean, it seems to me that the way he approaches running that website, some of it is actually objectively, I would say, pretty good. Like the community notes is a really great feature, I think, objectively. But then also the way it tends to summarize news, I've found to be very interesting. I've just noticed that it tends to phrase things and sometimes omit things in a way that, certain news outlets that are leaning in a certain political direction might do to try to like persuade viewers to already be what's the word, like like to frame the issue in a way where they're already they're set up to see the issue in the way that they want them, if that makes sense. Community notes was way before Musk. Oh shit. All right. Well then, never mind. Was it really? I don't remember that. But anyways, at least in development, gotcha. Maybe that's why, because I feel like I've been pretty active on Twitter. At one point, I was pretty convinced I wouldn't be able to stay on Twitter when, but I've still been active for a long time on there, and so I felt like maybe I misinterpreted that, but I thought that it seemed to come about after Musk had kind of taken over, but that makes sense that it was already in development. I do like that feature a lot. Won't say what topic, but there's one major event that opened me to how things are framed. Yeah, I don't know. I think one of the things that I think is most important too is just having open discussions about these things, right? I think I don't know. It's not like you don't have to be
Complete sidetrack of a question. What are your thoughts on clip speakers, Brad?
I actually don't know Klipsch speakers. Sounds like a German brand though. You should post on Blue Sky. A lot of my favorite EDM artists are on there. Yeah, for sure. Twitter does make me pretty mad sometimes. But anyways, they're fully built manufactured in the US. Oh. It just sounds a little bit like a German name. But I've never heard of Klipsch. I'd be happy to check it out. I haven't been in the market for some new speakers in a long time. But yeah, maybe next time I am, hopefully I can get to a store that has those. But I feel like I was I gonna say something? I don't remember. I was just gonna say, like, I think it's just healthy to have conversations, especially with people that maybe you wouldn't normally talk to. There are definitely dead end roads, and there's some divides that are just like not bridgeable, but like sometimes you can just learn so much from speaking with people that I don't know, maybe you can always learn something from someone else. I think I'd like to think that, at least. None of my managers came to work today. Had a pretty fun day. Hell yeah. That's how I feel in the studio most of the time. You guys are my managers in a way. Okay, let's get into music. I've been sitting here freaking chatting for like an hour now. I got the album playlist going here. I was enjoying working on what was I working on? Not Forgery, right? What was it? Fade Away? Yeah, Fade Away. I think I rendered the most recent version. Let's see, Fade Away. Is it this? I think it's this one. Let's unwarp it. I was hearing voices, wasn't sure if they're mine. I was seeing choices, wasn't sure if they're right. Always on my shoulder, whispering to my mind. Something looming over, a feeling of the scribe. Letting a sinking ship, taking me down with it. Drowning me out, figure this out. Time to get over this. Taking a hold of me, tearing it out of me. Never again know who I am. Things that I can't change, so even if I fade away, it won't bother me, 'cause I have come to terms with things I can change. Things that I can't change, so even if I fade away, it won't bother me, 'cause I have come to terms, I've come to terms. Pretty cool. I don't mind it. I think there was like a different version I had that was a bit poppier. And it was cool. I think I was just having a harder time like loving it. I think this arrangement, I like this, like some of the sound design in general. Just kind of appeals to me a little bit more. I think I'm happy with that direction. Let's see. How's Head First doing? Do we have a newer version of that? Um, I'm kind of like thinking about this track. I like the idea of maybe like instead of going straight into a build here, maybe we have like this almost like a mini drop. Like we play the melody here with like a drum beat with like not a lot of mids, nothing super beefy, but like and then we go into the build from there. I kind of want to try that out. I'm going to open up Head First. Where's Head First 4? There we go. This should be the most recent one. One of my faves. Thanks, Delansky. And then tonight, one of my goals is to get the next key collection project finished up. So it's been it was nice to have some releases to center the key collection stuff around, but I really want to try my best to keep doing monthly stuff on there. And I think I'm gonna just create basically a big Twitch pack with a bunch of things. A template, like what I'm currently using for my template project with a bunch of sound design I made over the last 6 months of streaming, groups, serum presets, and who knows what else. I'm just gonna do a deep dive into a bunch of stuff that I made, and just throw a bunch of it into one pack, and then just occasionally do stuff like that, like every few months, get like a Twitch pack going. Okay, so OG build. Let's see. I'm gonna just copy this first half of the build, or cut it rather. We're gonna cut it over here. And we're gonna call this build. And then we're gonna go in here and I actually don't know if there's any elements we want from the build. Random thought, but a lot of jewelers have sales this time of the year. I didn't know that. I gotta hit up one of my best friends is a jeweler. So yeah, the I don't know if I told you guys this, but like his name's Charlie, and we hang out here and there, but it's not that often. So my fiance got very suspicious once she started hearing me suddenly meeting up with Charlie more often. She's like, "Oh, you're just going to hang out with Charlie for the 3rd time this week? That's interesting." And but other than that, I did a really good job of trying to keep it a secret from her. So that was pretty fun, surprising her with that. Let's try to take this and use it to start fleshing this out. Martin, delete the VOD. Wait, what did I miss? Hold on. Huh. Charlie. Martin swinging both ways. I think if I was, I would know by now. I've been in many situations where it would have been made clear to me if I was that kind of person. I'm about to turn 34. Not that like being old somehow stops people from being closeted. I think people should absolutely just embrace, whatever. It's kind of weird. I feel like there's so many beliefs that I have that I always I haven't really expressed very much, just because they feel like a given, and we live in a day and age where I think you can't take anything for granted, it's in general, but like, man, especially not now, and I feel like, I don't know, who cares about that shit, there's no reason to judge someone for something like that. But anyways, not that you're judging me, yes, Sion, I know. But that being said, I would know by now if I was swinging both ways. Okay, so I was picturing like a more chill. Let me see. Yeah, let me take this synth. I'm gonna use this as a way to start sketching this out. Okay, let's listen to the drop chords again. Sometimes I get the timing of these a little wrong. What the hell? Oh, this isn't even... That's not even from my calendar. Why did these still not sound like they're starting? There's some kind of glissando. There we go. So, okay, here's what I was picturing. Then we take a really gentle little lead. We play... What is this sound here? That is nothing. Wait, that's reminding me of some meme. Goddamn, what is that from? What is this? This does nothing. Shit, it's like some studio session clip or something. I can't remember. That shit was funny. I gotta get my meme game up to par. I feel like I'm not good with my memes. Let's take something really. Let's just take a sine wave here. Or actually, what if we went analog? That's kind of a nice wavetable. I don't know if this might be too chill for the intro, but
I know if I ever look back, I can find plenty went back.
it wouldn't last very long.
I can tell you right now that there's plenty things I don't understand. Some things I would book, no matter what it says. I feel my heart trembling, 'cause I know I'll do it again.
I think I need to add some of the elements from the intro to make something like this work. And it would only be for like these few measures here. So I think I can probably pull it off. What happened with these chords here? Why did it sound all messed up? Let's get some of the sound design, like these, maybe these things in here. What does this sound? Maybe we can use this. The fuck? Why is this still bothering me? Let's change the MIDI here as well. I have no idea what you guys are talking about in chat. Give me this water.
I know if I ever look back. I know if I ever look back.
I honestly think that we just start the track like that. I don't think we need all this weird, like, piano chopping. I think we just start right there with this little snare fill thing.
I know if I ever look back, I can find plenty went back. I can tell you right now that I know if I ever look back, I can find plenty went back. I can tell you right now that.
Okay. Okay. I think we need to remove some of the beefiness from this kick drum. try to use something a little bit gentler. Let's I don't really know exactly what. I just want to retain the beefiness for the drop drums. This one sounds kind of loose. Maybe we end or break the break this off at the last beat. Okay. Let's record this lead thing. Maybe we try to throw the strings in there as well. Let's grab them and copy paste. I actually kind of like the low pass strings, maybe less low passed. There's still something weird about this guitar. Why does the pitch bend sound like it's doing like semitones? Huh. It's kind of that's kind of unnatural for it to like stay there like that. I think it needs to be a little bit more like stay in motion. It just sounds weird to me. Doesn't sound like how pitch bending normally sounds. So maybe more like this. Actually sounds a little bit better. I don't think that sine wave thing is supposed to be there. Yo, thank you for the follow. Real on piano. This section still sounds terrible for some reason. Mostly because I don't think I know how to EQ live string takes properly yet. What's up with that click there? Oh. It definitely sounds funky to me, but the dynamics generally seem okay. It doesn't sound like super, like, I don't know. It doesn't sound like certain frequency ranges are going all over the place, so that's good. This low end is not good. We don't want that. That specific riff is still a little harsh, but not terrible. But I wonder if I need to like do something specific to that. Maybe. Maybe I could just have that on there. I don't know. Hold on. First of all, how does this EQ sound compared to before? I do like that a bit better. It doesn't feel like I'm too far off from something that will match this section. It still feels maybe a little bit loud in this area. I think part of it is it's a little bit it's kind of being exposed a lot at the moment. If I can at least have a few other elements kind of removing the focus from that sound, I think it could help.
'Cause I know that I would do it again.
And it could also flesh out the feeling of that section a bit. It's really
Hard to, hard to, 'cause I know that I would do it again. Hard to, 'cause I know that I would do it again. Hard to, 'cause I know that I would do it again.
that could be kind of nice. I mean, that could fade out.
Martin, you said you wanted to learn how to do drums and stuff like Haywyre, right? Would you like to have a free lesson with me? I can show you everything and explain a couple of things if needed.
Yeah, man, that'd be fun. I'd totally be down to chat about that. I'll hit you up on Discord. I think it's interesting because one thing that I find really fascinating about production is like, especially like sound design, but also, you know, mixing, maybe to a degree mastering, but mostly sound design, is that a lot of it is kind of playing with these auditory illusions and the way that we perceive sound, and kind of toying with that in a way that like provokes certain emotions. And like, you know, with cone sound, for example, they're my favorite example with this kind of thing. But I remember I used to, when I first started getting into them back in 2012, and I would hear tracks like from Funk Blast, or but it goes for any of their material really, but especially the stuff that had like, you know, back in that time, like 2011 to 2014, like that era where they were doing like kind of heavier stuff. It always felt like their sound design was on a totally different planet, you know? And then years later, I remember somebody had, which I didn't really think was a cool thing to do. Somebody had like ripped a bunch of snares from Cone Sound tracks and basically posted them as a pack. And I didn't like that people were doing that. Similar to with like Space Laces, you know, people were like ripping his sounds all the time. But anyways, I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna ever do anything with this, but I still want to hear them. I still want to listen to what they sound like. So I did, and I was like, I couldn't believe that. Like, wait, this is Cone Sound snares? I was like, man, I actually don't think I would ever have chosen to use snares like this in my own music. I actually genuinely didn't think they sounded good, but that's part of what makes artists so interesting, right? It's like those choices that are part of your perspective and your vision can make those things sound good. But anyways, the reason I'm bringing that up is because I feel like Oliver is similar in that sense, where, you know, I've tried to use some of their, for example, some of their packs in my music, and I do, but very specific, very few things actually work in my workflow, because a lot of the times it's just too Oliver-y, right? And you know, I think most artists really need to be able to just make their own sound design. But that being said, you can learn a lot from reverse engineering. And, you know, it was very enlightening to see these kind of stripped down individual sounds from Cone Sound tracks, because I was like, wow, I just was not expecting them to sound like that. And they, to me, they sounded subjectively like not good. And then I think that's part of what I was talking about with like this whole playing with the illusion, right? The illusion of music in a way is that we always hear things in a song in context, right? We don't ever hear, when we're listening to a song, we don't hear all the elements on an individual level. I think people like to think they can. Like, you can separate elements by, like, in your head and kind of like imagine just the vocals or just the drums, right? And you can certainly do that, but you're still experiencing it as one waveform. It's still all hitting your ears at the same time. And like you can't ever experience a song out of context, right? Everything is in context. And I think that's one of the things that's kind of fun to play around with as a producer, especially with like electronic music. I always thought that was really cool when artists were able to kind of toy with that a little bit. And yeah, these sounds that normally I feel like just wouldn't sound good, you can make sound good if it suits your style as an artist. I think it's cool when people do that. Anyways, I don't know why I went on that tangent.
If I ever look back, I can find anywhere back. I can tell you right now that there's
I think it also needs a better reverb patch on it. Where is it? Excuse me. So we got Valhalla here. Maybe we put it... I know it's pretty late in the chain. There's no compression or anything after it. I wonder if we could somehow... All right, that is really annoying me.
follow up.
Yo, what's up? Thanks for the follow, Jack 3D. I'm just going to turn this down a bit more. It's really distracting. A little too much. But what if we tried to pitch monster this take here? I'm just going to save first, because I've been learning my lesson with not saving. Let's duplicate this and let's just let's bounce it without the Valhalla and the delay, and maybe without any of that other stuff here. Okay, yeah, bounce this, and then let's try to pitch monster this. I don't know what this will sound like, but it could be cool. I just want something that's using the audio as a source to potentially add some other layers in here. So let's grab pitch monster, throw it on here, and let's do MIDI. Let's grab let's just do smooth vocode, zero pitch, Turn the unison and pitch spread down. Set this to MIDI polyphonic. Send this to 123 strings. Okay, let's see what this sounds like. It's kind of cool. It's like a vocoded string, essentially. Let's see what this sounds like in combination with the string layer. It's kind of cool. It adds a flair to it. It would need to be processed a bunch, probably, to not sound as harsh. I was exploring the voicings there a little bit too. I think that... Let's try it one more time. That's a little bit better, I think. Let's take a look at the EQ. Maybe we could try to use compactor to kind of blend these a little bit more. Let's see, sidechain. We'll use 122 as the source. And let's take a look. Okay, maybe let's get rid of some of the high end here. I think it adds a nice little kind of harmonic bed. I think I want to have a really dry last couple of hits here with some kind of sound. I don't know what, but I think I want two like really short instead of the kind of like all these like washed out reverby elements. Why does this have so much reverb? Let's shorten these. Not the greatest tom, but not really that important at the moment. Okay, let's mute this for that brief little moment here. What other elements are playing here? Yeah, this has a mix on here for reverb. Let's get rid of that there. Damn, this delay, it's crazy. All right. We're gonna bounce that. I think that once I'm at a point where tracks are feeling pretty complete, it's gonna be really fun to do some like little embellishments and like really fine-tuned mixing choices and little weird sound design embellishments. I think that it'll be nice to get the album to that point. But we're still a little ways away from that. Okay, what other elements here are... I don't know about this. I kind of like that better. I don't really like that fifth in there. These are still not like exactly on time, but it's a little bit closer to what I was hoping for. Let's go back to this beginning of the bridge. I don't know. This section still feels really like, I think the writing is fine, but I don't know. This is just not turning out how I was hoping it would. Maybe I just need some other elements to accompany that. The chords. Where are those? I think maybe if I add like some kind of keyscapes, like felt piano texture in there or something like that. Maybe that could help. It's just not sounding very, very convincing to me right now. It is not. The hell's going on here? Oh. pad in the background of this patch is really nice. I guess it's just reverb. It's like adding like a higher octave version of the piano for reverb in there, which is kind of cool. You can hear it. It's an octave higher. Okay, anyways, let's try this out. Let's turn this down a little bit. Ugh, just sounds terrible, man. Blah. Why does it sound so bad? How do I EQ this to like get it to sound better? Let me turn everything off in here. I'm gonna group everything. Pro Q3 from here to here. And whatever, I'll just throw this guy in there too. Let me just compare what it sounds like with and without processing for a second. Oh, there is a little bit of random stuff being stacked on it on top of this because of the group. Huh. I didn't think about that. Damn. This was maybe not the smartest way to go about this. The thing is, like, once there's multiple takes to play with and to pan left and right, and I feel like it sounds much more convincing. But when it's just like one layer exposed like that, it does not sound very good. Maybe I need to ask my man Ernest to come back here, Ernie, and re-record this a few times. It could also be like a performance thing, the take. But yeah, I'm not really feeling this at the moment.
Hard to believe, 'cause I know that I'll do it again.
Kind of like the idea of maybe having a fake out this time around. Let's try this out. Because once the track is out, we can no longer change anything. That's why you might as well give it a shot while it's not finished yet. Let's see. Yeah, I think it could work, possibly. I'm gonna get rid of the fake out here. Let's see. Oh. All right, whatever. That's fine for now. I'm just gonna save this. I think I do want to record that piano for the bridge in the meantime to help me decide on whether to just omit the string idea altogether. Actually, let's do that an octave higher, the melody. Damn it. Messed it up. Maybe no low end, just on that downbeat. And then it'll pop back in after the fake out is done. Let's try that. Yeah, I think that arrangement makes sense. I do like this riff here, too. I'm trying to think about what's going on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's kind of like little 7 tuplets. What are those called? What's after a 6 tuplet? A septuplet, right? Okay, a septuplet. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're like differently subdivided. They're subdivided differently. One is like it's like a 1.5 beat septuplet, and one is a half beat septuplet. Interesting. I'm just gonna record this real quick. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe the piano could do the same thing here. Yeah, septuplets, baby. Septuplets. Okay. Hold on. Is the outro intact if I mute that one string layer? It is. Nah, I don't know about that. Let me try that again. I like those inverted thirds. Damn it. Ooh, I gotta stretch my hands more often. It is time to get the practice routine going again, that's for sure. I think part of me has not been as diligent about reintroducing practicing because I'm a little bit nervous about it messing with my wrist. But I think I'm at a point where I just gotta put in some elbow grease. Why do they call it elbow grease anyways? Can we go on a brief tangent here? Let's find out where this comes from. Where does the phrase elbow grease come from? Elbow grease originated in the 17th century as a metaphor. Oh, okay. For intense manual labor. The sweat and physical exertion produced by bending the elbow. That's... Huh. I kind of get it, actually, because it's like, you gotta grease gears and mechanisms. Gotta pull out the WD-40, so to like have things work properly. But for me, Well, either way, that's the origin. Now we know. Okay, let's record this one more time. Dude, why can't I not get this right? Okay, that was pretty close. I'm just gonna manually change these last couple of notes. Because I'm lazy. You know what? Scratch that. I'm gonna delete this and do it one more time because I realized that as beautiful as those sixth harmonies are, I don't want them in the outro. Nice. Cool. Let's render this and move on to something else, shall we? Let's see. Sketch journal. Look at all these green folders. It makes me happy to see some color coding going on. I will say the new iOS is a very mixed bag. I think there's some cool stuff going on, but like, man, my phone has been glitching out constantly. I don't know if any of you guys have been having issues, those of you that own iOS iPhones, but like, damn, dude, sometimes I'm trying to just like open one app. Like I'll try to open up my camera app and my phone will just straight up freeze for like a minute. I can't do anything. And it's been like a month since the update has come out, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, like obviously whenever there's an update, like you can expect some bugs and such, but it really rubs me the wrong way when these massive companies, you'd think that things like that would be troubleshooted. They're, I don't know. Bugs like that just shouldn't. We gotta do follow-up. Shouldn't be there to begin with, let alone be around for that long. How are you, Haywyre? I'm doing well. Thanks for randomly asking me that. I appreciate it. I wonder what is this narrative project? Oh man, well that's actually the name for an album idea I had back in 2017, and I started putting projects in there. It was like around the same time that I came up with Panorama. But anyways, hi Pixel, thanks for the follow. I forgot to shout you out there. But yeah, narrative was I was kind of playing around with this idea of little short stories. And they're gonna be about belief systems and like about the relationship between humans and belief systems. That was kind of the idea, and I liked it, but it kind of didn't come to fruition. It was too hard to kind of do multiple projects at the same time, and for better or for worse, mostly for worse, I have so many ideas but I'm not very good at actually like following through with a lot of them, unfortunately, because well, first of all, not every idea is worth actually finishing. But second of all, there's only so much you can do as a single person, and then I feel guilty for not, I don't know, getting things done, and then it turns into a negative feedback loop, and I'm like, fuck this, and then I'll just throw it aside and then feel, you know, go through a little guilty phase, and then maybe hopefully revisit it at a later point, kind of like what I'm doing now with Panorama. Although, let's take another look at what's in Panorama right now, actually. So I think some of these tracks would be very easy to finish, honestly, if I just put on my serious face and focused, because the ideas are there. It doesn't need to be anything too crazy. Clearing Storm could be an interesting start to the EP, maybe. I just think like some refining could make this sound pretty decent. I don't know about the whole second half thing. I kind of feel like I may have lost the plot a little bit. Maybe I could bring it back to that first drop after this melodic little, departure tangent thing. We'll see. Layman's Love, I think I might need to start from scratch. We'll see if I can find an old project file that actually works.
Too scared of dying, not much room for living. Layman's.
Maybe that could be like a second version of Layman's Love. That tempo is so different.
Layman's.
Or is it? That's pretty similar, actually. It's like, what, 15 BPM off or something like that? I don't know. We'll see. I might have to do like two different versions. I was kind of surprised to see, like, I think Resolve is going to be a cool EP too, with like these more chilled out ideas. Clearing Storm is 10 out of 10. I appreciate it, Delansky. That one I would really love to do. I think that a big premise for that was like I was really envisioning a video of me doing the that ARP, because that's such a fun technique, man. I don't think I've really seen videos of other keyboard players doing that. It looks kind of odd, because it looks like, normally you have two different patches, not the same patch on two keyboards. But like, that's where it all came from, was like that ARP, like triggering Because normally on a piano, like doing that on one keyboard is way more difficult and totally unnatural. You can't normally kind of strum notes like that on a piano. And you can kind of like start playing around with it. Whatever. Anyways, that was sloppy, but you get the idea. It's like right here. There's so many other ideas that I would love to finish too, but I don't know if they have a place on Panorama. Y'all remember this one? It's pretty rough, but it's a cool idea. I think that maybe this could be a good candidate. Well, Control looks like it's already pretty good in terms of a track listing. Although I don't know if this track fits with the kind of like heavier theme. Also sounds pretty terrible at the moment, but maybe I lean more into kind of like the heavier stuff, like that track that I just played. Maybe this idea too. What is this? Oh, right. I forgot about this. I think I could speed that up. It could be cool. Maybe swing it a little bit. I haven't opened that project file in years. So maybe we don't put this one on that EP. Maybe this could go on there. I don't know if it fits that well, but hold on. we'll see. I wonder. Let me see what the album looks like if I take out tracks that I'm not super convinced by at the moment. Like, what would it take is not sounding good at the moment? Palette Cleanser, that's more of an intermission, so I'm okay with that at the moment. I think Superpower is coming together. My Time is Coming, kind of meh. This idea is very rough. I think For Granted could still work. I gotta text my buddy Louis Futon for a sec. Hold on. IDK5, my beloved. Delansky, you're like my hype man. You're when I release this album, it's ultimately gonna be because of you, probably. I don't think I get. You're probably the biggest hype man I have right now. All right, let's see. For Granted, I think we can count on that working out. This is also an interlude that I think could work out. Inspire, meh. It's not, hasn't really come together. Keep It Moving, for sure. I think that one will be easy to include on the album in final form. Gone for Good, kind of in between. I gotta work on this like drum and bass-ish thing. This I actually don't even think should be on the album. I think this would be better somewhere else. And what else we got? Euphoria. I think Euphoria can end up in the album. Yeah, I need to work on that track, for sure. And Fade Away. I do think I would like to include this track on the album. Ultimately, it kind of fits the vibe of what's going on. The other ones I'm not too concerned about not including. Inspire could go on one of the. Actually, Inspire could go in the Panorama EP. It kind of fits that vibe, I think. I think it could work as a track on here. And then, I don't know, maybe this could be one of the fulfilled tracks. We'll see. We'll see how it all works out. But maybe we bump this back into the album, and then we just plan to omit these tracks potentially. How many songs is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That feels like a good number of tracks, anyways. And it's not like the other songs. I think a lot of them, if not all of them, will get released anyways. So I feel like that makes me feel better about omitting songs from the album, because then I know that stuff that I still think sounds good can be released in different ways. So that makes me a little more comfortable with reducing the track listing here a tiny bit. Let's copy this into the sketch journal area for a moment. Let's go like this. Make sure, gotta keep the color coding. And you feel that might just be singles? Well, the album's going to have singles as part of the campaign, but I think there's too much material to not kind of like try to organize it in this into like these bigger buckets, you know. Like my priority right now is definitely the album, no matter what. And then I don't know what will come after that, either sketch journal or I'll resume the panorama stuff. We'll see how it works out. And it's tough because, like, you know, you want to balance the stuff that's like thematically relevant on an album. You don't want to just throw stuff in just because you need another song or something. But at the same time, you know, I don't want to do the opposite where I'm just including things just because they make sense thematically and they're not necessarily like, I don't know, they're not as convincing of a standalone experience. I kind of like trying to like hit a balance between tracks that can still be listened to, enjoyed on their own, outside of the context of the album. You know, and in the album. But, anyways, let me remind myself what I was doing with Superpower. This section is a vibe, dude. I love how this is turning out.
I can feel it in my bones. I can say goodbye. Been losing my mind. I can feel it in my bones. I can say goodbye. Been losing my mind.
I'm still conflicted on the drop. I think it sounds pretty good, but it's got a ways to go. I don't think the idea is bad. It's just that I really need to lock in on the execution, the sound design and stuff. But yeah, I do feel like that one will be good on the album. Keep It Moving for sure. Gone for Good. I don't know about this track. It's just the drop that needs work. Side of Me, yeah. This feels like a pretty good track list to me at the moment. I like this. I don't think there's anything specific that I'm like, oh, this has to be on the album. It's not on there, and it really needs to be. So this feels pretty reasonable. I wonder, maybe we should move for a little bit to another album track and just try to work on something for a tad bit before we wrap up or anything. IDK5 is killer, man. I appreciate it. I don't know, something about this drop is. I think, I don't know, I'm having a hard time seeing how I'm going to make the drop work. it works. Like I like listening to it on my earbuds. Doesn't sound bad, but I noticed that it wasn't like translating that great on other systems. Oh. All right, what should I work on? What should I do? What should I do? Maybe we could try to work on what would it take. Yeah, let's just open what would it take. Where's that project file? Damn, I have no idea. What would... What? Wait. Huh? Why is it searching... Why isn't it searching in the folder I selected? Open live set. Yeah, it should be... All right, whatever. Let's just go in here. I'm sure I can find it wherever it's hiding. I don't know. Or maybe I can't find it. Damn, dude. What the hell? Oh, it's in here, I think. Yeah, I gotta save this outside of this freaking, or maybe just rename this. Yeah, there we go. So I can find this a bit more easily. Let's try to do a new drop for this track because I don't really like what I was doing for that. To me, it just sounds like the drums need some work. The main idea works really nice and is super catchy. My hottest take is that what would it take would sound great as UKG. I could see that. One thing I will say is that UKG has definitely inspired me to work at faster tempos. I've been enjoying that for sure. That little Reese. Let's try to just mute all of the sound design down here for a little bit. I don't know what that. I also don't like the offbeat hat. Not crazy about that sound. What would it take for me to learn? Why don't we just I don't know, just throw in some random stuff. See if it can inspire something else. Dun, 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 dun. Try to hybridize. I don't know about that. Try it again. Hmm.
What would it take for me to learn?
Uh, all right. Let's forget about that. What freaking menu did I bring up to hype? There we go. Okay.
What would it take for me to learn?
That's kind of a cool sound.
What would it take for me to learn?
Why is it not letting me sustain this? Ah, that's why. Hey Martin, looking forward to your piano lessons course? The Twitch VOD editor that posts some of your streams, is there any way they could compile your soloing and just jamming? Could listen to it for hours. Thank you. But I'm not sure what you mean in terms of piano lesson course. I don't have any official marketing materials or anything out there for that right now. But I mean, I'd be happy to share some of my performance, like music theory and piano performance philosophy and stuff in the future. I think once I'm done releasing a lot of this material, I've been freaking stockpiling for a bajillion years. Actually, that's part of the reason why I'm kind of starting this key collection platform, is because I'd really love to be able to set myself up to focus on, I don't know, just sharing the few things that I know and that have worked for me in my career, beyond just kind of like maybe like music theory or sound design or mixing, but also maybe just kind of like industry experience and thoughts and things that might help other artists if they're so inclined. But yeah, anyways, appreciate the idea though. I think it'd be cool to do some kind of piano course at some point, I suppose. Trolling, please make one. Oh, okay. I did not realize that was a joke.
What would it take for me? What would it take for me to learn?
I like this actually. Kind of like it. Let's throw it in there as an idea.
What would it take for me? What would it take for me to learn?
Yo, Kostak Music, what's going on? I appreciate it. Thanks for the sub. The phasing to a wider stage is nice, right? Yeah, it's interesting. Hold on, I gotta set up this loop a little bit better. It's not.
What would it take for me to learn?
There's a few little ideas in there that are kind of cool. Let me see what is going on with this. If I put the vocal back in here. All right, let's try this again. like that. It's kind of cool.
What would it take for me to learn?
Yeah, it's really fun to jam on, but I don't really know what to do from here. I do like the idea of progressing into... Maybe it starts without any offbeat hi-hats, and then it kind of like starts revealing them here. Second half. I don't want those background plucks here quite yet. Nor do I want this thing. Let's see. Let's try jamming on this again. In general, I think I like that rhythm that I was playing. Like those kind of emphasizing those thirds. I think the evolving nature of the patch is really fun to play too. Maybe we should listen to this from the intro just to get a feeling for whether this is too left field or if it could make sense. Neighbor Kraftwerk sounds good. Thank you.
I can tell you now, but I can tell you now. Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion. I'm my own through night and day, but I made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now. What would it take for me? What would it take for me to learn?
Hold on. I think it could work. They feel a bit unrelated right now, but I was expecting that. I gotta get some of these voicings right. Actually, an octave bend would be really nice on that. I like these chords as well. I think maybe it could evolve gradually into that. I think maybe for the first drop, I'd like to keep it like a lot of the harmonics a bit lower, like down here. That's got a little bit more of like a hopeful, slightly more hopeful, upbeat funk flavor compared to what I was doing at the drop just at the beginning. But I like both of them. I think they progress into each other.
What would it take for me to learn?
Woo! It's really fun. It does kind of change the nature of the song a bit, but let's throw that over here. Maybe we can extend the quote-unquote drop or whatever the hell this is. We'll have it go like this, extend this a bit. What the hell is going on here? These are mistakes. I don't want to quantize this yet. Maybe there's an argument for not quantizing it. We'll see. Kind of hearing like a little kind of Mad-Zo style. Kind of like a wah guitar, but a synth version of that or something. It's like a little bit of cut-off movement, lots of resonance, maybe. That sounds a little too much like a cat. Please. Not the cat. Meow. Actually. We got a new follower. Yo, thank you for the follow, Smokey Bear. To add a little bit of delay here. We're getting closer, actually. Hold on. Cool. Let's try to add this in here. I think that little riff is nice. That first take was not great, so let's just copy that one over. Maybe we could add a gentle sub underneath this, like a gently saturated sub that roughly follows the chord progression. Nothing crazy, just a little bit of some. Just copy this MIDI over and delete all of this. And let's go mono, legato. And make sure there's no two notes happening at the same time. Something like this looks pretty close. Yeah. Whoa, what was that? Oh, thanks for the raid, Nathan Scott. A Nathan Scott, not the Nathan Scott. A Nathan Scott. That's an interesting distinction. Follow. Yo, thank you for the follow, Deb. Let's see. Let's turn this porta down. I was just thinking. Follow. Nathan, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. What's up? What's up? Welcome, everyone. Let's see. I was imagining the porta kind of like changing potentially. Wait, what happened there? Why did it just go silent there? Am I tripping? What? could possibly be causing that. There's no automations even on this yet. Huh? This wasn't even happening earlier. It's just randomly happening now. Da-da. You what, mate? Oh, it might be because of the legato. Hold on. Maybe we could try to see what this sounds like with the vocals if we low pass it a bit. Hold on. We still have some of this old sound design here. I do really like this sound design, but I think I need to make some room for this new chord progression in the song. Where is that sound coming from? I think it's here. Ooh, wait. It sounds kind of nice with these chords. Sounds kind of nice. Let me get the piano here for a moment. Hold on. Let's let me just do something here super quick. I need to get rid of the sustain pedal automation here. Oh, the amount of times I have to do that. I wish I knew how to create a Max for Live device that could just automatically do that for me. I'm not smart enough for that. Also, let's automate the cutoff on this for now. Let's throw a macro on this low pass. And let's show automation. Wait, what? That didn't... There we go. That was not what I thought it was. You know what? It actually sounded a little bit better with the low pass synth, I think. You know, it does change the nature of the song a lot, because to me now this is kind of like the main chord progression, which I'm not complaining about it. At the end of the day, I just want to, I just want a song at the end of the day that works. I think one more automation I need to change here. Not just the sustain pedal, the pitch bend is stuck down there. That is not where you should be, sir. Maybe it could be low passed even more. I think the vocal can for sure come up. It's just quiet because this was originally just in the intro.
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves. Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves. And fear was my only emotion.
Is that a chord stage? No. This is my red keyboard here is a Nord Kawaii, and this one's a Panorama Nectar P6. Let's see.
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves. And fear was my only emotion. On my own through night and day. But I made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now. What would it take for me? What would it take for me to learn?
And then here, I want the same breakdown, but I just want to change it to this chord progression, this new one. This freaking delay, man. How much? 65 milliseconds from just the Pro L. Yikes. But that's what I'm going to add here in the bridge section.
So much now. What would it take for me? What would it take for me? What would it take for me? Matter so much now. What would it take for me? What would it take for me to learn?
Spill my water everywhere. That's what I get for leaving that on the piano. Hold on. I'm just going to record this real quick and then I got to clean this up.
What would it take for me to learn? Take for me.
Oh, it's so sloppy. Cool. And I think there's room for obviously some kind of alternate drop here compared to what we started sketching here. It's honestly hard to record even something this simple when there's that much latency. But I think we got it down close enough just for me to have a sketch for what to do here. I think this little breakdown area would be really cool for some piano action. I was really enjoying jamming out on top of this. Whoa. I forgot these are different chords that used to be here. Hence the ARP going major there. Some of the sound design I might still end up using. I muted all of it in the first drop, but there might be some way to still use some of it. Just not for this version. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to call it here for today, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really got to clean up this water that is all over the floor here. I'm going to save this as version 28. But I'm pretty happy with this. It's very different than what the original track sounded like, but you know what? I don't really care. I just want to get this stuff and all the album stuff to the finish line and have it sound good and hopefully have people enjoy it. That's the bottom line. So if it had to change a little bit to get there, that's totally fine. But thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the the subs and such and the kind comments. And I'll be back tomorrow for Feedback Friday. So if you have some music you want to show me that you're working on, or you just want me to listen to, and we can talk about it and or critique it or whatever. So come hang out tomorrow. 1 to I'll do a longer one tomorrow again. I think 1 to 3, something like that. 1 to 3 p.m. CDT. So if you want to tune in, I'll see you tomorrow. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Peace out, y'all.
Do you hear what I hear? Do you care if I care? Do you know what I know? Do you know what we share? Do you hear what I hear? Do you care if I care? Do you know what I know? Do you know what we share? Do you don't you? Don't you? Don't you? What we share, you know what we